first game breaks, no games, you know that us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win in. First game, we're here for the first leg. Carry my team down 6 minutes.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
The culture that Hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standard is to be the damn best. And we're never stopping.
Just go win them all, man. I say that. Our team goal in general, just win the East. So we're focused on that. But, you know, we're taking it week by week, one opponent at a time, and just being the best each week, each Saturday, being the best team on the field.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that, no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.
Our pets' heads are falling off!
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have faith, you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem.
Good Sunday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
Coach, you need somebody to lean on right now? Do you need somebody to talk to? Are you on the edge of the cliff just waiting to jump off?
Nah, I'm good, Boogie. I'm good. I'm going to slowly sip my Gatorade and plot on all the greatness that will be Vols football moving forward is my plan. Maybe it's just me, but after a loss, you know, you just gotta get back on the bike, right, man? You can't get knocked down, not get back up. I don't care what you think you might be playing for and what you might not be playing for. Just get back up, give 100%, play to get better, and keep the program moving forward, period. The hard part is for us, is fans and coaches who don't get to go out there and work to get better, right? Like that makes it easier when you get out there and let the pads pop a little, exercise, get a couple gassers in, maybe go pay the iron price for what you just produced out there on the field. That can kind of start making you feel better and get you ready for a game. But for the fans, you kind of just got to sit there and take your medicine for a week. So a little bit harder for us in a way.
Yeah, we got 170 people watching right now. Those are the diehards. Those are the people like you and I that are obsessed. And guess what? They're going to be here. They're the type of people that, just like Vols JP, I love telling the story. Tennessee didn't even have a bowl game on the line. He was freaking out and pissed off because we weren't getting the Vanderbilt game on our TVs. That's the type of people that are here. That are the type of people that are in the cult. Meanwhile, people are turning off their TVs. They're saying, I'm not going to watch Georgia. Guess what? This Tennessee football team can't turn the TV off. They've got to go compete on Saturday. So you can either try to fix the mistakes, you can work like heck to get better, in the words of Philip Fulmer, and go try to do something on Saturday against Georgia. Do any of us expect them to beat Georgia? No, absolutely not. We don't. But they better try to figure something out and go compete, or they're going to get embarrassed inside of Neyland Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Let's run down the chat. Let's see who was hanging out here bright and early. I appreciate you guys getting through this with us, man. Sometimes it helps. This is a fan call-in show. We'll be putting out the link here in just a second. It helps to talk about it. Like somebody made the comment on the day after video this morning, and I think it's an Alabama fan, honestly, and he said, Boogie, I admire you for doing this even after the losses. Sometimes it's therapeutic, man. Like the post games are so raw and emotional. Sometimes it's therapeutic to sleep, wake up, and just kind of – I usually sit down here for an hour. I'll turn on like a post-game show, maybe VolQuest or something, and listen to it. I look at numbers, and I just think back on the game and try to put some thoughts. I try to spend some positivity typically on those day-after videos because it's not the end of the world. It's not all doom and gloom. Sometimes it is on Saturday nights or Saturday afternoons. Let's see who's here. David Burgess was here bright and early, says, Go Big Orange. What's up, brother? Angry Titan is here, says, Sup Ball fam. Orange emoji, banned censored USA flag emoji on StreamYard. It drives me nuts. Matt is here. What's up, brother? Matthew King is here. Says this should be good. Popcorn, anybody? I wonder if that's a Georgia fan. I bet that's a Georgia fan. Looking by the look on his face, I bet that's a Georgia fan. Robert Tuck is here. Says, come on in, fam. Sit down, crack open a beer. Or a cold one. Maybe he's drinking Sprite. I don't know. And says, let's get through this loss together. James Fair is here. What's up, brother? Dylan Elam is here. Shot by Andrew drops a $2 super chat. Appreciate that. We are now demonetized for that intro, so thank you, Shot by Andrew, for the $2 entry fee. We appreciate it. Fish and Beans is here. Says, howdy, howdy. Robbie S. is in the house. Mrs. Coach J is here, as always. The Sethinator is here. Says, what's up, everybody? Blake Dunham is here as well. Guys, come on in, smash the thumbs up. You know the deal. Share this thing out. Put it somewhere on social media. Let people know we're live. Timothy McGee drops a 50 spot. You know what? I think I'm done with Pat McAfee. No more Pat McAfee. We're only going to play clips for the 50 spots and higher. We're going back to the $1 Million Man, and Timothy McGee is bringing it out early. Let's play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Timothy McGee for $50. My man, that is not cheap. We appreciate that. Says Vandy scored 21 against Missouri. My point is this. If Heupel doesn't learn that our wideouts aren't studs like 2021, 2022, he won't last. He needs to learn to change it up and start throwing to a point instead of option routes. Timothy, did you listen to the A to Z Sports postgame show? This is something I was talking to Coach Jay right before we went live, talking about Jonathan Crompton. He is very much a Joe Milton guy. He has not put a whole lot of blame on Joe this season, but to be fair, kind of in line with where I'm at with Joe. I don't think Joe has done enough to be benched, but something he's talked about is the wide receivers. He talked about in the postgame that this offense does not work without a 4-3 wide receiver. What does Squirrel White run? Do you know, Coach? I'm completely putting you on the spot. Close?
It's close. Listen, my first comment is, maybe I'm reading it weird, but is Heupel the quarterback of this offense? Does he need to throw the ball to a point instead? No, that's on the quarterback to lead his wide receivers. And gosh dang it, I hate to do this, but you've played it quite a bit, Boogie. In recent videos, I thought Nico led McCallan Castles quite perfectly on that touchdown pass. Caught him right in stride, if I'm not mistaken. And there's been plays where Milton has caught players right stride. Look at Squirrel White against UConn, right? He caught Squirrel right in stride and led him just fine, but it hasn't been the case for the larger part of the season. Not when we're in conflict.
So let's avoid the quarterback controversy for 2 minutes.
I'll do my best, I promise.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's talk about wide receivers. So do you think that's just completely inaccurate? You think that it's not about wide receivers not being able to get open? What Crompton basically said was the way you beat this football team right now is you stack the box, you make sure you have +1 in the box to stop the run, and if you stop the run, you give them a soft cushion, you give them 8 yards, keep everything in front of you, and then you put your safeties over the top so they can't take the deep shot, and there's nothing that Tennessee can do to beat you with that scheme.
No, I don't agree with that. Just taking the quarterbacks out of it completely. No, I don't believe that at all. We had games this year where we got played too high that we won, and there were games this year where the opposing defenses played too high the entire time and kept everything in front of us, and we won. So no, I don't buy that. I think that's inaccurate, I guess is what I'm saying. There are a multitude of ways, without getting into a full-on like film breakdown right now, to beat a too high look, and they exist within Heupel's offense. Look, moving the ball hasn't been the problem this year. The problem has been scoring in the red zone and shooting yourselves in the foot, right? When we haven't shot ourselves in the foot, and when we haven't, or when we're not in the red zone, the offense has moved the ball okay at times. I mean, not as elite as before. Can you limit big plays? Yeah, sure. But we also haven't hit those those tight one-on-ones. We haven't been leading properly. We've been missing that big post when we draw the safety underneath. It's just a myriad of things, and dang it, I wish we could figure out a way, Boogie, to do an in-depth dive of the offense and what it looked like this year, just from a schematic standpoint. But I personally, I did it again today. Obviously, I'm getting tired of sitting there and pausing the TV and taking pictures of wide open wide receivers 30 yards downfield. It's just, I've had enough of it. Like, it's not a coaching problem. If I can watch and see wide receivers schemed wide open and we're just not hitting them, that's an execution problem, not a coaching problem. Have the wide receivers regressed a little from last year? Yeah, and we had a special wide receiver last year and the year before. They've also taken a lot of hits in the injury side of the ball this year, no doubt about it. I thought they came out cold. We kind of reserved the wide receivers. Football is all about, hitting in practice and getting live hot reps. And I thought the wide receivers kind of fell prey a little bit to a slow start because we weren't giving them real run in the offseason. So they didn't come out with nice sticky hands, nice game time, able to catch the ball in a tight situation, hands to kind of catch some of that flow. But no, I don't think the problem has been scheming wide receivers open, and I don't think you can just play too high and then beat Heupel's offense. Heupel's offense is designed to take what is given, and when you take something away in football, you give something else. But if you don't execute and take advantage of what that defense is giving you, then it's all a moot point anyways, right? You have to be able to take what a defensive coach, scheme, team gives you in order to exploit a defense. If you can't maintain good balance, then it's going to be a problem, and I thought this team hasn't maintained good balance. I think we've ran the ball for the most part well, but when you've dared us to when you've dared us to throw, it's been a problem with us, right? So balance is key. A good Josh Heupel offense, and heck, a good offense, period, has balance, right? Has great balance to it. And I know I've gotten way off topic here on wide receiver and just gotten into scheme, but no, I just don't. I personally don't see that as a problem. But when you all jump in here, maybe we can have a nice, healthy conversation about it.
I already know it's going to be all quarterback talk. That's all anybody wants to talk about, and that's fine. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But first, Wayne, what are you talking about? No, you don't. You're not allowed to go silent. You are a staple of this channel. Too many people, when you're not in the chat, are asking me, "Where's Wayne? Is something wrong with Wayne?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not texting him, asking him where he's at. Wayne, keep voicing your opinion, my man. Do not give up. What's up, Toby? Good to see you in the chat, brother. Toby's always lurking, always watching the replay. Greatest wrestler in the state of Tennessee. Good to see you in the chat, my friend. Let me catch up on Super Chats, and then we'll get you guys on the show. MG Way for 5 group therapy fee. Well, personally, I had a really nice lifting session fueled by my battered VAWLS syndrome. Thanks, Boogie and Coach Jay. Hey, we're here for you. Lean on us. Timothy dropped another 2, said we complain about him taking too long. That's an ongoing narrative that's been all year long. Joe is slow. He's slow. In SEC plays, he is right. What's he talking about? Timothy always responds to you as you're talking. In SEC plays, is he talking about Crompton? Is he talking about Crompton?
Maybe, possibly.
Stopping the run and then the offense has nothing. Timothy McGee for another 2 says throw to a point so he doesn't wait. Joe struggles with that. He did it good against Connecticut. He did it good. I think Joe was playing pretty good football. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face, and y'all can tell me I'm stupid. Joe Milton did not lose that football game last night. The Tennessee defense lost that football game last night. So much so that I was thinking today. I was thinking Coach Jay and his little narrative and his little fun that he likes to have on the internet. And I said I wanted to drag Coach Jay, the defensive coordinator, into a locker room, and I wanted to say, you watch this film of your football team. We're so sidetracked on the fan call-in show. Unmute yourself for this, unless you're going to drop an F-bomb on him.
Let's go.
You may drop an F-bomb on him.
I dropped like 5 in a row, so I had to mute myself.
I was like, I want to take Coach Jay, the defensive coordinator, drag him into a film room and make him watch that defensive performance, and then dare his first excuse out of his mouth to be quarterback didn't play well. There is no way you're going to say that if that's your defense on Saturday.
No, but listen.
I'm bringing these guys in so they can laugh at the conversation we're having.
Yeah, listen. I'm not up here saying that the defense played well yesterday, right? They did not play well. Like, I'm not going to pull any punches about that whatsoever. But I meant what I said last night. You know, I've had several conversations with people I've played with, people I coach around, and I don't know. I'll ask you, Tom, or Seth, or any of you guys who played ball. You ever been on a team that your other side of your ball can't get off the field, and then you're just stuck? Yeah, it sucks, right? It sucks, dude. You are dragging butt, and yeah, Tom, I think you're muted, but it sucks though.
Oh, you're good now.
Okay.
You're good now.
Yeah. It sucks, I guess, and. Is that an excuse? I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Maybe it is, but it does suck nevertheless. Not fun at all. Fallout zone, both can be true. Absolutely. But I'll tell you what, if this defense would have only allowed 10 points yesterday, we would have still lost the dang football game. And that's a bad sign right there. You know, I got to
address this real quick. I got to set the record straight, because I know not everybody listens to everything I say on every stream I'm on.
Okay.
I am in no way, shape, or form saying that the offense performed well. I've said that multiple times.
Yeah, I know.
Like Coach Shay's defending his point. I'm defending my point. We're in agreement. They all played like trash.
Yes.
Everybody played like trash. 7 points don't get it done. I don't care who you're playing. 7 points is not efficient, and it starts with the quarterback. He's the leader of this football team. So make sure you guys get that straight. That's it. That's the only one. That's the only one.
Yeah. Yes, if you all missed the show last night, or if you guys disagree, I guess you can speak up. But no one on this channel that I've heard is even uttering the words that Milton was the only thing wrong on the field on Saturday.
No, defense got hit in the mouth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Milton's the umbrella over the season of why certain things haven't gone as well as they would if Nico was on the field. That's just my opinion. I want to see. But yeah, that defense yesterday, we failed in every facet of the football game. And it reminded me of the Peach Bowl against Maryland probably 20 years ago. It was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
And I did not see that coming.
Didn't either.
Somebody watched the post-game show and said basically that we're a bunch of idiots, that it was a toss-up game, and we were on the post-game acting like Tennessee was going to blow Missouri out. And it's like none of us took that approach.
No,
and to counter-argue the comment, it's like, okay, yeah, it was a toss-up game. So should we have expected Missouri to blow Tennessee out? Like, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. We just expected Tennessee to compete, and they didn't compete.
Not at all.
Yeah, I believe a word I used was I was expecting a knife fight in that game. I really was. So yeah, no, not at all.
Missouri showed up with a bazooka.
Yeah, we brought a knife to a gunfight.
And shout out really quick because I was talking it, but it's rare that I see my son Dublin Patterson in the chat. So shout out Dublin down there. What's cracking? And yeah, I mean, what he said. He says, he's excited. Either way, he feels like this team did take steps this point, especially from a defensive end. I know they played like crap on Saturday, but if you bear out the numbers from 2021 when Coach started in 22 and now 23, they've taken a step every year, right? They've taken a step every year. They had a bad day on Saturday, so that's going to happen. And not that it's acceptable or I'm happy about it, but it does happen. On those days when it happens, that's when you need that player, that Michael Jordan, that
Hendon Hooker,
Tom Brady, that Hendon Hooker that can put his team up on his shoulders and carry him to the victory. And you guys get it. Insert whatever awesome athlete that we all know of that exists that can do that. And does that mean that's easy to do? Heck no.
Nico.
Yeah, but you need it.
He's not ready.
Like,
He's too small, Tom.
This conference is tough, man. This isn't the Pac-12 that's expanding. This isn't the ACC. This is a tough conference full of killers that will take your heart. And if you don't have a killer, you're in trouble, man. You need one in this conference at quarterback, or you need 11 killers on defense, and we don't have that now. So, we're moving in the right direction for that. But for now, while we're building that, you kind of need a killer at that quarterback position.
Let me hit some super chats real quick, and then we'll jump back into it. Go Balls Deep 423 for 5. Why continue to stay in the 4-2-5 on defense when it's not working? Why not adjust to a 3-3-5 or 5-2 to at least see if that would stop the run?
Like our strength is our defensive line. I mean, I think we need more linemen. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's. We'll come back to that. I want to talk about adjustments. I want to talk about adjustments across the board. MG Wade for 5. I'm not calling it an 8-4 season. I'm calling it a 4-4 season because that's what it is. We're losing the games we as fans actually care about. I saw somebody on VolQuest saying it was like a 3-4 season. They were only taking the games. Who's echoing? Who's echoing? Who's echoing? Who's echoing? Who's echoing? Somebody's echoing. Am I losing my mind? Somebody was basically saying, who have we beat? Tennessee's not beat anybody that they weren't supposed to beat, right? Kentucky and South Carolina are it. So, and that's something, Coach, you talked about on Friday was the SEC record and how it's improving, and then we're going right back down to where we used to be. In Stiltner, YouTube, in Stiltner YT. That guy's got to be a YouTuber. Thank you for becoming a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Shout out to all the members, guys. Hit that join button down below. Give $1. You got $1, give $1. If you're always in the chat, if you're always watching the show, if the notifications go off and you're here before Tom is, then you should be a member of the channel. That's it. Just hit that join button. If you got $1, we would greatly appreciate it. VFL Willie for 2. Bad all-around game. Chin up. Get ready for Georgia. Timothy McGee for another 5. LOL. Joking around. Our defense got shredded by a white boy quarterback. Well, I don't know what that.
He kind of looked like Scott. He looked like Scott Tenorman from South Park. I don't know if any of y'all remember that character that Cartman eats, or he eats his parents. But anyway, he looked like that kid Scott Tenorman to me.
Robbie S., don't you dare blame me, brother. It ain't me echoing. It's me echoing through Seth. Seth is to blame. He is to blame. Let's jump back into it. Eric, I want to just give me your little and look. Don't give me a Dauber opening sequence that lasts 17 minutes. Just give me your overall thoughts on the game.
Can't get off the field on third down. Very, very disheartening when your defense can't get off the field on third down. I feel like with this quarterback, this offense, you need a defense that can. Milton's not the guy that's going to bring you back from 17 down. Just don't think he's cut out to do that. But that's putting the team on your back, and that's not him. So if our defense doesn't play lights out and keep us in games, he's not the guy to bring you back from a 17-point deficit. He's just not. And you're leaning on that defense. I mean, you're leaning on the linebackers to get off the field on third down when Cook's sneaking and getting first downs, and you're just beating your head against the wall, watching it happen over and over and over again. Can't get off the field on third down, you're not going to win. Nico time.
Yep.
I'm done.
I'm so confused. What is this? What's this? What's funny? The fact that who thinks what is funny? Is this a shot at somebody? I don't know what that. I don't even know what that comment means. Sorry, Tom.
No, I was going to say, even with Nico on the field at this point in the season, I'm pretty sure I love Josh Heupel. Love him. He brought us out of the pit of misery, the pit of despair. And his play calling has been a little suspect with Joe Milton on the field. And at this point, it's kind of you have a quarterback who's not cutting the cheese on the field in the first place for the whole season, when it was kind of clear that he wasn't cutting the cheese from the beginning. And now on top of that, you're going to double it with some bad play calling. And yeah, our defense was just god awful. But yeah, with what Eric was saying, you got to get off the field 100%. And in the first couple of series there, that first series, when we got that interception to start the game, I said, oh yeah, it's on. We're going to score. We're going to make them look really bad on their home field. And then it went exactly the opposite of how I thought that was going to go.
To me, the momentum swing for me when I said we're in trouble was 3rd and 6. I thought we were going to get off the field, and Cook sneaks for like 10 plus. Yeah. Herring looks like he's pursuing him, and then it just he's nowhere near making the tackle, and they get a first. I felt like right then I said, oh, no, we're in trouble. Right.
And he did that twice off of the goal line. Like, he did it all over the field, but twice when you had him 3rd down, and I think it was like 3rd and 6 and a 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 from the 1, and you let him use his legs to beat you. So let me come back to the adjustments question. And let's talk offense and defense. And you guys know me. When somebody in the chat says, well, you should have made adjustments, my first shot back to them is, what adjustments? Tell me what you want to see. How in the world are a bunch of dorks on the internet, on YouTube, talking Tennessee football all week saying, you got to spy Brady Cook, you got to keep him in the pocket, and Tim Banks never thought once maybe we should spy him? So then when he beats you with his legs, why don't you make the adjustments? Get in there, Tom.
Look, okay, when we're talking
hold on. Are you engaged now or what?
No, not yet. Not yet. No, not yet.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was happening last night. I thought it was happening
yesterday. Was just the searching. It was searching for the peace day. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Get back into it.
That was a big step. Yeah, for sure. No, but back to the adjustments thing. I hear so many people say stuff about, this makes me sick to my stomach. Nick Saban's the best adjustments guy at halftime, or the best teams make adjustments. You know what the adjustments are at halftime that you make? We're not running the ball well, and we need to run it better. Or on defense, you need to play a 7 technique instead of a 6, and you're going to be able to stop the outside edge play. That's the kind of adjustment. Our defense needed to actually show up. That's the adjustment that needed to happen at halftime. That's it. I mean, they had 30 plays in the first half, or 28 plays in the first half. And yeah, we went 3 and out once, but still, I mean, they had that many plays in the first half. Eric, you said you knew we were in trouble at a certain point, and it was 3rd and 6, and he
on their side of the field. It wasn't the 1 yard line. It was when they're up on their 30 or 40. When they're pushing out of there.
Even when it was close at halftime, it was really close at halftime. Still, I knew we were in trouble. Period, just based off of those plays, because Josh Heupel gotta have the quick strike ability if you're not going to be in trouble with that kind of play ratio. And coach, you know the defensive stuff, man. Your defense is going to get run ragged if you're out there 28 plays to 8.
They were tired, but
there's two sides to that story. Yes, the offense went 3 and out right early in the game. They went 3 and out. But the reason it was 28 plays to 3 is because the dang defense couldn't get off the field on 3rd down, right? So, the offense didn't do them any favors, but the defense, you got to blame yourself a little bit when 3rd downs were awful. I don't have all my numbers in front of me because I knew we were just going to rant and rave It was awful. The first half particularly was really bad. But Tom, you made a point there. Let me get Nate on here. He can jump in here with us. You made a point there talking like the adjustments to stop the dang run. So how much was it scheme to stop the run versus their offensive front just whipped Tennessee's defensive line? How much is that a factor into it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Kentucky game. That's what we did. We stopped their run game and made better than what's his face from last year beat us, and he almost did better than Will Levis. What's the guy's name from Kentucky? And he almost did.
Larry.
Yeah, thank you. And he almost did, but not quite. But we shut down their run. I mean, their tailback was killing it against other teams, and we shut them down. And they didn't even come close to doing that yesterday against Missouri. Not even close. And I'll bet if Missouri played Kentucky with the records that they had pre-UT game, both of them, I'll bet you Kentucky would probably put the hammer down on Missouri, which is kind of odd because we got blown out by Missouri on the road, but we beat Kentucky on the road.
Yeah, it seems, from a defensive side of the ball, for me, I think the D-line has, gotten really good at pinning their ears back, so to speak, and they're good when they attack. One thing that I don't like is Florida did it. Certain teams have done it at times and emulated what Florida did, but they run that little counter and that little zone stretch, and they'll let us get downfield and then trap us and run under us. It's not something that Coach Banks has solved, and that's a problem that is incumbent on Banks and Rodney Gardner to solve. And Rodney Gardner's done a great job with those defensive linemen, but they need to get a little tougher in their gaps. As a defensive coach, a lot of times we'll talk about defensive linemen being tough in their gaps, being strong to the gap. It's not just enough to maintain good gap integrity, because if you're just sitting in a gap as a football player, you're going to get blown out of your gap. You have to be violent in that gap. You have to initiate contact, even though you're in a stable position. You have to keep your feet moving. You have to, lay into people with your elbows, your shoulders. You have to have violent hands inside and stay in your gap. I feel like this team can struggle sometimes when they're not pinning their ears back and they have to play catch. They don't bring that same violence and intensity that you need to bring when you're playing catch, when you're maintaining your gap, that they do when they're pinning their ears back. It's maybe the next evolution that this defensive line needs to take. I'd like to see that next year from them.
Yeah, they started shooting gaps yesterday, and that started getting us killed too.
Yep.
Instead of holding down your man and creating a gap lane that you're holding down, they started shooting gaps, and they got caught out of position. And that's the end, period. I mean, if you're not able to do what you were just saying we weren't able to do, and then you start shooting gaps on top of that, trying to shortcut it and maybe beat the fact that you're not coming up where you need to in the first place, you're done.
Yeah.
Let me hit a couple more super chats real quick. Timothy McGee for 2 says should have kept Kevin Steele for defensive coordinator. Timothy, I don't know if you're aware, that was the biggest snake in the grass weasel hire maybe in the history of college football. Like, I'm not even putting on a tinfoil hat. I'm just speaking facts. Philip Fulmer hired Kevin Steele because he was waiting in the wings to make Kevin Steele the head coach so that Philip Fulmer sat on top of the throne. You ever watch the series Game of Thrones? That's what was going on in Knoxville before this new administration come in. It was all stab anybody in the back. I joke about Philip Fulmer stabbing Johnny Majors in the back. That's all. It's the truth. It was all political moves. And Philip Fulmer was setting himself up as the AD to have political power with his guy waiting in the wings. So everybody else is going to get fired. Here sits Kevin Steele that we're paying $1 million to do nothing. Oh, we need a head coach? Let me slide my guy in here. And now guess who has power? Philip Fulmer all over again. But Philip Fulmer got shown the door. And the greatest thing to happen to this program in a long, long time is everybody got canned and Danny White came in, and that's where we're at right now. Jackie Pickle for 5, nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Jackie. Thank you for the super chat. I saw somebody in the chat say, you would think we're 6-6. James Miles. Shout out, James. What's up, brother? Are you happy, James? Let me ask you this, James. Let me ask you one-on-one. Are you happy on this Sunday evening losing 36-7 to Missouri? That would be my question to people. Like, should you not be mad coming off of that loss? And look, we knew it was going to be a dogfight. We knew it was going to be a battle, but nobody thought Tennessee was going to go out there and lay an egg and get blown out. So what's left to play for? And we'll get into that on the back half of this show. Sports Banner, you jumped in here, buddy. What is on your mind? How are you feeling on Sunday? Are you yelling and saying, why are we upset, or are you upset yourself?
Well, like everybody else, I'm not happy we lost to Missouri, especially the way that it happened. I did not expect it to be that bad. I wasn't completely surprised we lost the game, honestly. I believe Mizzou's pretty good. I think, in my opinion, and some people may laugh, I think they could be the second best team in the SEC, possibly. Yeah, I think they could give Bama all they want or possibly beat them. But at the same time, I'm not happy with 8-4. Or we might, hopefully beat Georgia. I mean, after last night, I'm not counting on it. But at the same time, if we are 8-4, I'm not happy with it, but I also don't think it's the end of the world. We've lost the games we've lost. You talk about we should have been favored. I honestly didn't think we should have been favored against Missouri, but that don't matter. Florida, we've been better than Florida. How many times have they beat us the last 5 or 6 years, and we were probably the better team?
Shoot, I think you can go back further than that.
I think Florida's it's a mental thing. I don't even think it's about anything else. They just can't get over that mental block for whatever reason. But as far as the Vols moving forward, I have no problem with Nico going in. The only reason I wouldn't want him playing next week is just because I know how Georgia is, and I wouldn't want to take a chance of him getting hurt. As far as is he ready? I have confidence in the guy. I have no problem with him being. I believe he could go in and play, and they should honestly, if you're going to use him for this season, he should have had a few games to get dialed in, and he hadn't had to have that. So going in against Georgia would probably be kind of tough for him. But if they did go with it, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I wouldn't have a problem at all. Like I said, I don't think he's too small like a lot of people say. It's just, would they be able to protect him good enough against Georgia at this time? I don't know if they would or not. Hopefully they would. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got at the moment.
Let me hit this super chat from Evan Counts. We're going to go ahead and talk about Nico because we're 38 minutes into the show. We might as well. Evan Counts for 5. Should have seen all the looks I got wearing my Tennessee shirt today here in Augusta, Georgia. At least they know I'm not riding the bandwagon. Sometimes on Sundays after a loss, I'll wear Tennessee stuff to church just to say, I support this team through thick and thin. Today I had to sneak one in. I wore an orange plaid. Didn't have the balls to wear the Tennessee logo this morning to church, but I had to ask for forgiveness for everything that I said last night off air. At least I didn't break my TV like Dustin did, right? Like that guy was like, we got to wrap the show. I got to go to Best Buy to buy a TV. Man, oh, man, the things that happen to us Tennessee fans. Let's talk about Nico. Like, moving forward, if you haven't watched it, I dropped 2 videos today. If you've not watched them, go back, watch them. Day after video, also going ahead and pledging my allegiance to one Nico Iamaleava. And it's not – I'll kind of repeat some of the things I said. It's not because I'm saying that Joe Milton's to blame for this loss or that loss. He's played okay at times. He's played terrible at times throughout the year. I've shot straight with you guys. People get mad. They yell at me. They cuss me. I'm used to it by now. I'm preparing for the future. I don't freaking care. Does anybody raise your hand on this panel right now if you think Tennessee's going to beat Georgia this week?
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
If Nico plays, or
no.
I thought you were going in the direction of they play Nico. I had my hand up.
If they play Nico,
Did you listen to my video today about Nico?
I didn't.
And I was George Burnsing the whole time.
I said, what's going to be the difference in record, right? What's going to be the ceiling is 9 wins, 3 losses. The floor is you crap the bed and you lose to Vanderbilt 2 and you're 7-5. And I'm like, but is there going to be a difference in the Georgia game and the Vanderbilt game if you start Joe versus starting Nico? And then I slipped in a little 9-win season when I said Nico. Look, I don't think Nico's going to go out and beat Joe. I think it's time to prepare for 2024 because I don't think there's a freaking difference at this point in winning 7 games, 8 games, 9 games. New Year's 6 is off the table. Atlanta's off the table. It doesn't matter if you play in the Outback Bowl or the whatever flower bowl they call it now that used to be the Gator Bowl. Everything has a different name now. I'm rolling out Nico because I'm preparing for 2024. Nate, I'm going to put you on the spot because you just popped in here. You're on mute. Make sure you're ready to go. What are you doing the rest of the way? Would you roll Nico out against Georgia?
Dude, of course. Like, I'm rolling out Nico just because, like, I'm done with Joe. And, I mean, his draft stock's not going to get any better. He's going to be a third stringer at best. I'm sorry. So, looking at 24 season, Nico, he's a special kid.
Yeah.
Just put him out there. I mean, you throw him to the dogs. I mean, like Coach Jay said, he's got that dog mentality. He's going to come out on top. He's going to give you the head of the dog, and he's going to sit here and like, hey, listen, it's the future. Time's now. You shouldn't be waiting. And that's just how I put it.
So is anybody? Let's let somebody jump in here that's on the opposite side. I know Eric kind of talked about injury. Is anybody else against Nico starting against Georgia?
No.
Just Eric? Are you against it, Eric, or are you just worried about him getting injured?
Worried about him getting hurt.
You
Remember, it was Kirby Smart that went at Peyton Manning's head when he was in college.
There was a response I had, but I ignored some of the comments on YouTube today that I wanted to respond to. My response was, should we lock him in a padded cell? He could get hit by a car or walk into the mailbox. He could get injured in practice. You know what I mean? It's a violent sport, and I get what you're saying. I'm over he's too small. I'm over it. That's an invalid excuse for not playing Nico. I'm over that. So, Coach, we know your answer. Seth, so you're in agreement. You would start him. What are your reasons for that? What would your argument be to the naysay? You need to take care of him, or are you good?
Okay, repeat your question, buddy. My internet went out right as soon as you started talking.
So what would your response be to the naysayers? You're going to trot Nico out there. Oh, he's too small. It's Georgia. You need to wait till Vanderbilt. Or all these excuses that people give. Why do you have the confidence to start Nico against Georgia?
I think he honestly just gives us a better chance. He can do something. Whenever the pocket starts crumbling, I think he's got the ability to maneuver out of it. He has the ability to keep the play alive. Joe just doesn't read it fast enough, and either he'll just give up, which we've seen him do, or he'll just make the wrong decision. But yeah, heck, screw it. What we got to lose now?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was pretty good with it 2 weeks ago.
So that's a different question. That's a different question, because I'm asking you. Preparing. I'm talking preparing for the future. You're like, screw it. I don't care about the future. He gives us the best chance to win now. So who on this panel is in the mindset? And we can go around. Coach, you can jump in here. I already know your answer though. Who's in the mindset of Nico gives us the better shot to win now versus let's play Nico because he's the future? Like where are you, Sports Banner? Where are you at on that?
I believe he gives us the better chance to win now, honestly. And I believe had he started the season, I feel like we could have won one or two of those games that we lost. And the reason I say that is because this offense we run, it is schematic, but the schematic, it's not like complicated route combinations. The schematic in it is running the offense fast, and it catches the defense out of position. It catches the defense with the wrong personnel on the field. And if you can't run it the way as fast as it's supposed to run, then you're not going to get those things. And that's why we had people running wide open last year on top of, of course, high with his speed. But there'd be more people wide open. And there's more people that have been running wide open this season. People just don't realize it because, they don't really focus on it because they don't get the ball. I mean, it's all about decision making and how fast you can process those decisions. And Nico's strength, which is why Heupel brought him to Tennessee, he is absolutely tailor-made to run this offense. He processes information extremely fast. And I know people say, well, it's not in the SEC and this or that. You don't have to watch him do it in the SEC to know how quickly he can make decisions and get rid of the ball, go through his progressions. I followed him ever since we've been eyeing him, and I'm telling you, the kid is I feel like he's going to thrive in this offense. And I feel like we would be looking a lot more like we did last year with him from the start, than people realize. And, I think he's been ready all along. I just think it's been a loyalty thing with Heupel, honestly. Team chemistry. So I have no problem with him playing right now or whenever. If it had been earlier in the season, but.
Let me hit some super chats real quick, and I want to come back and talk about that loyalty thing. There is a poll now in the chat. Who would you start against Georgia at quarterback, Nico Iamaleava or Joe Milton? Get your vote in there. We'll see where you guys go. Tristan Malone for $10. Feels like it's the offense. They couldn't do anything. It just hung the defense out there, and they were gassed. Martinez needs to go anyway. I think Banks may play soft because he knows the DBs are bad. I don't know that Willie Martinez will be back after this year. It's interesting that he was the only guy that didn't get an extension. And then I'm pissed at Tim Banks for not making the adjustments, not spying the quarterback. Little things that my ignorant butt that knows nothing about football can point out. The ambassador for 5, the best decision coach could make is to put Nico out there and start his era now, set the world on fire, and FUGA the heck out of the Bulldogs. Thank you, Trey, for the super chat. Kelly Thompson for 5. Put Nico in. If he gets hurt, he has the offseason to get better. Let's go, Kelly. Show no fear. No fear. Timothy McGee for 5. But the culture. I feel if Nico is ready, he should have been able to beat Joe out. But like Pruitt with JG, Heupel is married to Joe. Man, I've been reading that a lot lately. Dan Wright for 5. What's up, Dan? Would love to see Nico, but at this point, I'll wait. Also, what are your thoughts about DJ Durkin for defensive coordinator? I don't think Tim Banks is going anything. Coach, you're muted. I think Tim Banks is going anywhere. I think he's going to be right back next year.
Yeah, I was just waiting for that comment to come up with DJ Durkin, and if I'm not mistaken, I think USC has already made a phone call to Mr. Durkin, and
if you're not mistaken, or you know a little something.
A bit of if I heard something about something, then I would have heard
sly little dog.
That SC is targeting Mr. DJ Durkin, and as they should be. SC, if I were USC, if Arkansas lets go of their head coach, I'd throw a buttload of money at him to be my offensive line coach.
Oh, yeah.
They need help in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So I think look, we're not see what y'all are doing, trying to lure me into talking Trojans and then smack me around a little. I'm not going to fall into it today. But
that channel will be created next week. Stay tuned.
Yeah. But I don't think Banks is gone. I think Martinez is probably on his way out, guys. What say you guys?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think he's back.
Banks. I'm sorry. He blitzes at sometimes where it's 50-50 if it's going to work or not. And I mean, Coach G is doing great with the defensive line, so he's making Tim Banks look pretty good. And Tim Banks is not as good as G is making him look. And yeah, unfortunately, he probably is coming back next year. I would take Chavis over Tim Banks at this point. I wasn't a big Chavis fan at all, but yeah, I would take him at this point. And I was there for some of those horrible losses that we had because his defenses played terribly. That's with all that having been said.
But how fair is that? Gosh, I wanted to keep talking Nico, but how fair is it to criticize Tim Banks? The defensive line is playing good, and I do agree with what you're saying, Tom. They're masking how bad the secondary is. Why is the secondary bad? Is it because of Tim Banks and Willie Martinez, or is it because we've got a bunch of guys out there that shouldn't be on the field playing SEC football? And no disrespect to Tank McCullough, because he's actually played pretty good football at times this year. He's not an all SEC type of safety. The corner position and injuries too, but injuries happen to everybody, so that's kind of that's a cop out. But is it Tim Banks or is it talent? Is it Willie? I do think it's Willie Martinez.
I think Tank Davis, kind of like Joe Milton, has given his dang all for Tennessee out there on the football field, and it pains me to say it when that isn't enough, because it bugs me and I hate that for somebody. But sometimes you have to look at things honestly, and it hasn't been quite enough, but I can also be damn proud of what they've given to the University of Tennessee and the hustle that they put out.
That's why it sucks to come on here and talk Look, some people look. I'm not an SEC defensive lineman because I don't have the talent. Some people just don't have the talent, right? It just is what it is. But that doesn't mean we don't love them and support them. Unless you're Coach Jay, he hates Joe Milton. I've seen it. You should hear. You guys see what he says on air. You should hear what he says off air. He hates Joe Milton.
No.
Oh no, it's a confluence of events though. You were saying, is it one thing or is it this or is it the third? It's all of it at the same time. It's the Joes, pun intended, on defense and offense. It's the Joes, and it's the coaching, and it's the situation, it's the context, it's all of it. Yeah.
Let me hit this super chat real quick. Jackie Pickle drops another $5. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for your generosity tonight. Says, hey guys, how soon do you think they put Nico in the game against Georgia? We got a poll out right now. Should they start Nico against Georgia? The poll is 61% Nico, 39% Joe Milton. So this fan base is ready for Nico. And you know, I think this fan base is out. Like, so many people in this fan base are done right now. Like, they don't care. They're saying they're not going to watch. The season's over, this, that, and the other. If Josh Heupel came out and met with the media tomorrow at 12 o'clock and said, we are going to start Nico Iamaleava on Saturday against Georgia, do you know how many people would tune into that game? Do you know how quickly this fan base would be right back in? And it doesn't matter what the record is. It doesn't matter what games you lost. It's the Nico era starts now. Look at Neyland Stadium in the homecoming game. That place was full in the third quarter because everybody wanted to see Nico.
It's like the 2012 Alabama game. Put Josh Dobbs in. Got to go in. Season starts right there. Third Saturday in October, new season started just then. And it was like a whole new thing, too, because you could see how good he was. He gave you the best opportunity to win, and he just wasn't on the field because he was a freshman. He went in against Alabama and played great. I know we didn't win that game, but he looked great. He never did beat Alabama, unfortunately, but he did. He looked great.
Now look at him now.
Yeah, look at him now. Exactly.
He balled out again today.
I mean,
yeah, he did.
Yeah. 100%. God, I wish we had Josh Dobbs and Nico learned from Josh Dobbs. Golly Moses. Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about a undefeated season. I don't care what our defense looks like. You put Josh Dobbs on this team, 100%.
So I have a question, right? So first quarter when Taveri McDonald hurts his shoulder, right? What was the DB that we put in?
Tamari McDonald? Is that what you're talking about? It was Jordan
When he
Thomas.
hurt his shoulder.
Jordan Thomas came in.
Why did we not play Ricky Gibson? Like, I saw more highlights from Ricky Gibson than the other dude. I'm sorry. I forgot his name. But
Jordan Thomas. He's young.
Yeah, Jordan Thomas.
He's young. And well, I started to say, I saw a question on VolQuest saying, does Josh Heupel, does this coaching staff trust veterans more than the young guys? And Jordan Thomas, what is Jordan Thomas? It's not like he's a senior. But do they trust veteran guys out there versus some of the young guys? And it's like, you played Ricky Gibson because you were blowing out Connecticut, but you don't trust Ricky Gibson to go out there and play an SEC opponent like Missouri. Is that what it is?
Even like, you know, when Tyron Hopper went out like third quarter and Mizzou trots in their second string linebacker and he goes and makes a beautiful play on Joe Milton, like the second he trots out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a head scratcher.
Well, you also look at the system Josh Heupel came up in. Late 90s, turn of the millennium. He was at OU, man. Bob Stoops is old school football coach. You play the seniors before you play freshmen and sophomores. You know, you don't want controversy, all the and you hear it in Josh Heupel when he talks. You know, we're going to play elite defense. He's just an old school sounding guy, but yeah, he's kind of to a fault being loyal to the older guys. I wanted to see Arian Carter on the field a lot more yesterday too.
He was hurt.
He's hurt.
He was out.
They've announced.
Yeah.
They announced.
Oh no.
He's out for the
they
season.
announced. Yeah, and it's. I believe it's a precautionary thing, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I
That
hope
they
so.
just don't want to bang him up anymore.
Mhm.
Which you know, hey, look, the time for those people who are banged up that we're going to need next year it's time to let them get right and get their bodies right, because you don't want to lose those guys for the spring. You want to make sure they have that. It's important to the development. If you look at these wide receivers, how we were talking about earlier, how they were late to kind of get a jump on things. You don't want that to happen again. If anyone's nicked up or anything like that, let's go ahead and get those guys right, because we got work to do.
The link is out for Talkin VAWLS, Faithful and Higher. Some of you guys beg. Boogie, you don't go down far enough down the list. Talkin VAWLS, Faithful and Higher. We are down to the $2.99 level. You guys want to come on here? We can only have, what is it, Coach? Is it 9 people, I think, at this point? I ask him like he runs StreamYard every week.
9, Boogie. Yeah. That's per the laws of StreamYard.
I'm pretty sure it's 9. It's 9. So if we start to fill up, we'll rotate some guys out. We want to give you guys a voice and I'll let you know, let you guys voice where you're at on this football team right now. But we do have almost 400 people watching live. Do us a favor, smash the thumbs up. You guys know the deal. Go check out the merchandise. I'm going to show it on screen because the last couple of videos I haven't shown it on screen because I've rambled too long. But you can go check it out at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts, the Talkin VAWLS letters shirt. We've also got cult member shirts because we are a cult. Let me tell a quick story real quick. Walk into church this morning. Sunday school teacher says, "Good morning. How are you?" I said, "I'm doing good. How are you?" He said, "I'm thinking as I teach the lesson this morning, I'm going to ask people for super chats to voice their opinion on the Sunday school lesson." And I just start laughing. He joined the channel last night, and I recognized the name, but I wasn't sure if it was him. He was like, "Oh yeah, that was me. I was in the chat list and whatever." And so I was laughing. I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy, man. We're a cult, man. We're a cult. The way they support us." Brand new couple in the class. First time ever at the church. And they're listening to this lunatic in the corner talk about how he runs a cult on the internet. So shout out to you guys. Hope to see you at church next week. But if you want to be a part of the cult, we do have cult member merchandise you can pick up. All your favorites are there. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link is also in the description down below. If you guys pick up the merch, man, if you rep the merchandise, you wear it. I don't care if you wear it to a Tennessee game, you wear it to the mall. Do malls still exist? I don't know. Maybe you'll wear it to a Circuit City. Maybe you'll wear it to a Toys R Us. Wherever you wear it, take a picture, tag me up on Twitter at Boogie Bentley. I would love to see it and retweet it. You guys are our voice. And speaking of you guys being our voice, we got to grow this thing. We're right around the corner from 25,000. Do you know, like that is a monumental moment for me. If we hit 25,000 subscribers, so tell somebody, whether it's word of mouth, text your buddies, let them know about the Talkin VAWLS Network. Let's grow this thing. Share the videos, share the tweets, all that good stuff. You guys make this thing what it is, and we appreciate you. Coach Rice for 2 says Nico will start Vandy time. I can guarantee it. Does anybody believe that? There's no way Nico's starting Saturday. By the way, just so we're clear, he ain't starting against Georgia. Does anybody think he starts against Vanderbilt? Let's get on it. Let's put Honest E on the spot. Honest E popping in here. We're going to put you on the spot right out of the gate. Nico ain't starting against Georgia. Does he start against Vanderbilt?
I think there's a chance. I mean, if they start Milton against Georgia and he just plays like crap and then they put Nico in and he does all right, I think there's a chance he starts in Vandy. But I think if Milton goes out there and just plays like a decent game against Georgia and we put up an all right fight, I don't think Nico starts in the Vandy game, but I think he plays.
Somebody else jump in there.
I would hope. I mean, seriously, I want to throw him out there right now because he gives you the best chance to win just based off of Joe's. I wanted Joe to be great. I wanted him to win the Heisman this year for him, not for us, not for the football program's record, but for him because he put the work in. But he can't do it. He can't do it. I want Nico on the field. He should have been on the field against Florida, period. I'm sorry, the way the first 2 games looked. I know the UVA game, we're kind of like, well, receivers dropped some balls, but then what was it? It wasn't UTSA. It was lonely little
Austin P.
Austin P. When he looked that bad, making horrible decisions. Yeah, Pay. Yeah.
The hard part is with Nico, early in the year when we're talking about Joe, he looked so bad. And like I went through his QBR in the video about Nico earlier, and he looked so bad. And I'm like, look, man, this is YouTube. This is the internet. My goal is to get views and gain subscribers. That's it. And I told Eric Kane off air, I said, I'm waiting on the moment to go full steam ahead on bench Joe, play Nico. Like that's just business model.
Yeah.
He never gave me the opportunity to do that. Like he was right. He was towing the line, and then halftime at Texas A&M, he turns it around, and his QBR was going up. It was going up and up and up every single week. And then this past week, I just think the way you lost to Missouri, whether it's on Joe, whether it's on the defense, whether it's on coaching, whether it's my fault, I don't care who you blame. It's time. It's time. It's time.
I just don't think Joe fits this scheme.
Yeah.
I just don't think he fits our type of scheme. I really don't. Right. He's terrible. Like poor decision making. He's not accurate. I mean, the Missouri game, I mean, the pick six was bad. It was terrible. But, I mean, even before, when you're trying to at least make it a solid game, I mean, overthrowing Squirrel Wyatt. I think he overthrew Chaz Nimron. I mean, he just overthrows so many people. And we're talking about a fifth. I mean, he's in his fifth year. This kid's got kids. He's got a whole wife and everybody at home. Like, dude, sixth year. My bad. See, that makes it even worse. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, like, yeah, he's a great story, great kid. You know, I love how he stayed faithful to Tennessee. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, me and my cousin were talking. Exactly. Me and my cousin were talking about it yesterday. Huge Alabama fan. We bump heads every third Saturday of October. And I told him, and I was like, dude, I was like, Milton had an okay game, but I want Nico in. I was like, I wish Heupel would have done the same thing that Nick Saban did when Jalen Milroe played like utter dog crap. You know, put Ty Simpson in, he played bad, then Milroe went in, because that's going to give you like a confident boost. Like, I mean, that's going to hurt your confidence. Be like, hey, listen, I got to try harder. I got to get in there. So if you bench Milton for Nico, I mean, you know, Nico plays good, but a couple of, you know, freshman mistakes, right? And then Josh Heupel turns it over to Milton. And then Milton plays better. I don't know. I just don't. I can understand Heupel, you know, staying with the seniors, you know, veteran, you know, presence in the locker room, all that stuff. But, I mean, if you're worried about a locker room dividing, like, if you start winning games, it's not going to divide anymore. That's what it is. I mean, come on. I mean,
it fixes everything.
But do y'all believe that? Like, Nate brought me back to the point I was going to talk about loyalty, right? Because Joe, he's been here before. He was the starter. He got benched. Hendon came in. He was a good teammate. He chose Tennessee, and sometimes I wonder if that's what led to that loyalty, because instead of transferring out or saying, screw this, man, I'm done with football. I'm out. I'm done. He chose to come back for a 6th year and try to give it a go again. Some people think there's that loyalty. Oh, it's going to be it's a locker room. It's a culture issue if you play Nico. Did y'all see the way this football team reacted to Nico's first touchdown? I think this football team loves Nico. I think they know how good Nico is. And I think they love Joe too. I do. I don't think there's some type of divide where they hate Joe and they love Nico, but they love them some Nico Iamaleava. You can see it.
Yeah. You know what else
created a family atmosphere. And it's not going to divide whoever's winning. Winning cures all. You said it in a bunch of videos over the course of the last 2 years that I've been watching. Winning cures it all. And I think it would divide them. I think it would be better.
I think it's also a strong, you know, if you think about it, it's real easy, I think, to lose a locker room nowadays in the modern transfer portal and with NIL available, and how easily a team could get really pissed off that you throw someone $8 million, right? First one to get that kind of price tag. Yeah, quote unquote. Exactly, Seth. He comes in here and then all of a sudden you hand him the brand new keys to the car. That you got to be careful with stuff like that, guys. That can really get in the cracks of a team. And I do think that these coaches are trying their best nowadays to deal with a problem that they've never had to deal with before. And it can be really explosive and dangerous, as we have heard already.
I mean, couldn't that also mess up recruitment? Because, I mean, who wants to come to a school where you don't get played your senior year?
Yeah. I mean, it it's just a tricky situation if we're gonna take the route of culture, right? It's I don't know, man. It's to me it's hard, and you just have to give the benefit of the doubt to the coaches who are there with them every day. And for me, that's been frustrating. But yeah, I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah, he's playing average. He's playing the average for sure. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
6-year senior, 6'5", 240 pounds. He can throw it 90 yards in the air. Why not? I mean, he's got the potential to go to the moon and back. But yeah, at a certain point, you got to be like, hey, kid is sitting the sideline who can escape the pocket. He's got hellacious pocket presence. He's got the killer instinct that Hendon Hooker had mixed with the winning kind of a sound to him. Like I've listened to him talk about stuff. He just sounds humble like Dobbs, but he can win it because he's got that, hey, I'm going to escape the pocket and I'm going to go downfield with my legs like Hendon Hooker had last year. That's just how it seems. I know he's gotten garbage time style play, but yeah, that's at a certain point, go with it.
You know, if he's got such a loyalty to these upperclassmen, and we saw that once we started seeing that Joe was not getting the job done and he was really restricting everything that you're trying to run in your offense, I'm probably going to get killed for this, but heck, play Gaston Moore then. You know what? He's the definition of your system. Listen, he is the meaning of your system quarterback. He's been with you, Coach Heupel, forever. And he's going to end up being a coach for you later on.
Yeah, he's been there just as long as Milton has.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's going to be the meaning of your system quarterback. He can be that bridge guy going into Nico if you don't want to play Nico that bad.
Yeah.
Any change, I'd be okay with.
I don't think it's about not wanting to play Nico. I think it's about loyalty to Joe. I truly think that's what it comes down to. And that's the conversation I was having with my wife earlier today. I'm like, how do you imagine being and Coach, you hit the nail on the head. Like, it's easy for us as fans to say, well, piss on that. I don't have to worry about that. I just want the best guy on the field. But imagine you're the coach and you're that locker room and you got however many hundred and some players, including walk-ons, practice team, all that stuff. You're trying to make everybody happy. In Coach Heupel's mind, he's going, all right, what's happening with Taven Jackson? Has he transferred yet? Is he going to transfer? We got Nico in the boat. Taven doesn't want to stick around. We got Joe. I've got to make sure Joe comes back. So does Josh Heupel sit down with Joe and go, hey, this is your team, man. This is your football team next year. We're going to groom Nico Iamaleava. And it's like, we're not playing NCAA football. We're not making promises that it doesn't matter if you keep them or you don't. You're talking about relationships, and everybody in that locker room knows what you're telling Joe. They're in like, coaches get paid a lot of money. Heupel's making what, $9 million a year, $10 million a year. He's getting that money, and he's earning it because he works hard, and these coaches are in situations now that it makes it impossible, man. Makes it impossible. Let me hit some super chats real quick. Robbie S. for 10 says, hypothetical, Nico comes in, injury or poor play from Joe, and ends up winning against Georgia. How much of that win do you think comes from the play calls going back to the 2022 quality? Do you think they would change the scheme if Nico came in? You think they're just going to completely open it up? I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what the playbook would look like.
If he hit a couple throws,
season to open it up.
If he hit a couple throws, though, for real, I know we're going to run it between the guards, which is the way I'd run the football. But if you run the football, you get a couple of yards, hand it off once or twice, and hit a couple of throws, I swear to you, Josh Heupel's going right back to the Florida game, to the Pitt game last year, to the end of the Bama game. Go for the jugular, get the win type of play calling that is, That's the kind of stuff.
And listen, Nico's best ball is his deep ball. It is what he does best. It's his, like, what do you want to say? Joe's strength is the slant, or whatever you want to say it is, or whatever Hendon Hooker is. If you have one pass and only one pass, you're gonna trust Nico to make. It's the straight up seam to your best wide receiver down the right side. He throws that pass with deadly accuracy, on time, a nice, beautiful deep ball that with a very, very good placement. That's what he does best. He has a lot of arrows in his bag, but that's the one he shoots truest. So yeah, I think that could definitely change. He's got a very, very deadly deep ball.
Let me get this. Matthew Wilson for 2 says start Navy Schuler. I never know if you guys are joking or serious, like Seth and Gaston.
That's what I said last
Love
night.
you,
Yeah,
Seth. Love you, Seth. Let's start Navy Schuler too.
Yeah.
Timothy McGee for 5. You made a good point though. I'm just busting your balls. Timothy McGee for 5. Coach Jay, another side of the coin. If you have a freshman better, you tell the team life is not fair. Man up, play on. You know, it's kind of Was it Tom?
I get it. I get it.
Tom talking about benching Joe, and it's like give Nico a shot against Florida, and if he takes a job. And then how do you respond? Like talking about, Jalen Milroe. He responded. He responded to getting benched. Gamer's game. You bench me, guess what? I'm going to prove like nothing drives me. This is so dumb to compare it on YouTube than some idiot doubting me. Somebody saying, oh, well, you're going to fail. The indie kid left the show. Hold my beer, MFer, because I'm going to double my subscribers in 1 year because you're calling me out. You're calling me out that this show's never going to succeed without the indie kid. Watch this. I'm going to double subscribers in a year because you pissed me off. Now some other people are pissing me off. The sky's the limit because nothing lights a fire under me like doubt. Gamer's game. You bench Joe Milton. How does he respond? If he rolls over and plays dead, guess what? He wasn't meant to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee anyway.
Yep.
I'm 100% on. Yep. Right there with you, man.
Wayne drops a 20 spot. Facts. Coach Jay, can I get the last Pat? Yeah, we'll do it. This is the last Pat McAfee, only because Wayne dropped a 20 spot and asked for it. The Pat McAfee or clip is dead. It's dead. The only clip we're playing is the $1 Million Man for 50 spots and higher, unless you guys want me to play Pat McAfee for hundos. I'll play Pat for hundos, the $1 Million Man for 50 spots. That's the new rule, but we'll play it.
Do we have the Coach Jay ripping off his jacket to the Nico jersey for $8 one yet?
No, but it's on Twitter.
Okay.
It's on Twitter, though. You can go see that on Twitter. One last time, rest in peace, Pat McAfee.
Rocky Top!
Shout out, Wayne. Appreciate it, brother. Let's get Jesse in here. Jesse popping in late. I don't know how long you've been in the chat, how long you've been listening, Jesse. I'm going to give you the open floor. You can say anything you want to say.
So, first off, Schrader, he beat us like a grass fire yesterday. It was pitiful. We couldn't make stops when we needed to. And y'all might have talked about this. Jalen Wright, after he went out with that first injury, when he came back in, he looked kind of timid. He looked like he would have some good carries, but all in all, he looked like he was kind of scared out there. And that first fumble, I understand, he got the first hit, and that second hit just kind of came in right on the ball. It'd be hard for anybody to hold on to that ball. A turnover is never a good thing, but, it still can't happen. Then that second one, like I said, hit him right in the chest. Looked like he was just kind of timid, just like, not to say he didn't want the ball, but, it's just something that can't happen.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, it's weird.
And for Cooper Mays to be that far backfield to recover that fumble is even weirder. That's strange.
Yeah, he must have been pulling real wide on that one.
Yeah. Maybe he was following it going, this looks like a crap show. I should keep my eye on this.
And also, let's talk about we should be running some outside zone. I love running between the tackles, because that's old school, run the ball. But if you're a defense playing Tennessee and you know that they're averaging 230 yards and 90% of that is between the guards, between the tackles, that's a dead giveaway. And we've got the stable of backs, but the play calling itself, we're going to run a couple of option plays, and it's almost in these perfectly obvious moments. 1st and 10, and we have a motion guy going from left to right, from trips left, and then the empty side of the field, you got your motion guy. We've run that speed option. I'm pretty sure that's exactly the way that we've run that speed option, is motioning the receiver from left to right and then run the speed option into that side where it's the wide side. And it's almost obvious that that's what they're going to do, and then run between the tackles. They need to be running some outside zone, and the offensive line needs to get down and actually drive their feet, because yesterday Missouri's defensive front, They made our offensive line look like nothing. And our offensive line kind of helped them do it because they're just standing there. They're standing there playing patty cake, standing straight up off the, right off the ball, not firing off. And, yeah, you're not going to win doing that at all.
And I'm sure y'all talked about this too, but defensively, I mean, when we have them pinned back, Jackson Ross puts them inside their own 2. I mean, for God's sake. And
twice.
Then, yes, 3rd and 10, and Brady Cook takes the snap in his own end zone, and the hole opens up. We're surrounding him, everything's good. This hole opens up, and nobody's there to close that hole. He takes it for 25 yards. Like Herring, just like he wasn't there a lot of the time. He was just slow on picking up the man out of the backfield going for a little wheel route. It's just he wasn't there. He wasn't there to pick up those routes last night, and it was
this is nothing new, but it's almost like we should have been spying him.
Oh,
the freaking quarterback.
Yeah.
If it's NCAA football, I'm going 4-4 blitzing everybody.
Yeah, Herring, just whenever they put him in conflict, he would really struggle with that conflict. And there were plays, even without the spy, that he should have made on the quarterback last night. So it's something he's got to get better at, because he has moments where it looks like the light switches on and he looks good. He's a young kid. Our linebackers are young. I'm going to beat it like a dead horse. But I think it's awesome that we're getting them playing time, because I do believe it will pay dividends next year. I just think it's a little painful currently.
I don't think Elijah Herring's the future. He's going to get passed by next year.
But a solid backup.
Yes,
a real good solid backup.
We're having to lean on him as a sophomore. And I just pulled up the PFF grades just out of curiosity, as you guys are talking about linebackers. Does anybody want to take a freaking guess? Elijah Herring played 54 plays. Let me read the grading chart. Let me scroll back up. Hold on. This is probably taking way too long for the bit, but I want you guys to understand the grading chart. An elite grade is 90 to 100. All conference 85 to 89. Starter 70 to 84. A backup player 60 to 69. Replaceable is 60 or lower. Does anybody want to guess what Elijah Herring graded out as on Saturday?
35.
53. Anybody else? Tom said 35.
47.
Y'all are all way too high. Y'all are all way too high. Elijah Herring graded out on Saturday at a 31. That was our starting linebacker. You want another little mind-blowing stat? As much as everybody wants to say that it's I was about to take a shot at Coach Jay, and then I felt bad.
Take it, let's go.
Everybody wants to say it's the offense. It's the offense. It's the offense. It's not really taking a shot because it's proving you right. The highest graded offensive player. Who do you think the highest graded offensive player was on Saturday?
If I was
guessing,
it
can't be Cooper Mays because he was sucking wind all night. And I'll tell you what, they got to get him.
Joe.
Maybe it was Dante Thornton because he was the only one who did anything good.
Oh, yeah, Thornton.
Yeah.
Ollie Lane coming in at 67.7. Ollie Lane. Let's see. Dante Thornton did grade out at the best, but he only played 9 snaps. He graded out at an 80.6, but he only played 9 snaps.
I was so bummed. I was like, man, he's finally playing well, and he goes out, man.
So as bad as the defense played, guess what? Offense played horrific. Everybody played like crap. B.S. Osborne, you're one of my favorite people in this community. I love when you come on, you tell stories. You get long-winded, going old school, and then you say, oh, Boogie, I need to get off it. I'm here for it. So the floor is yours. I want you to preach and tell us how you feel after yesterday.
Well, disappointed like I'm sure everybody else is. And I'm not just chiming in to agree with the narrative, but I did want to say after church today at the Y down here in Cleveland, what you guys have been talking about. So there's a gentleman who is a coach, or he's retired. He's probably in his mid-60s. And basically we were all agreeing, old Bradley guys agreeing that we should have packages for Nico for the Georgia game at the minimum. And that's what I would do. I would have packages set up for him and then start him against Vandy in the bowl game because, Joe is talented enough with his arm strength alone to probably get an opportunity, I would think, in the pros. And if he gets hurt here near the end for him, that doesn't benefit him. Secondly, I don't think that we do any worse for wear if we place Nico out there against Georgia. It changes things up, and Georgia's probably not going to be thinking that he's going to play. I think that's an advantage. And anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. And then as far as just agreeing, but us older guys are agreeing with that. So it was, maybe I've been screwed over in my job. So look, okay, the point is, it's nothing against Joe. I think he's would be welcome, obviously be welcome back as a Tennessee Volunteer for sure. It's just a matter of, we want to win. And to get a story in real quick, Coach Johnny Majors probably, he would give Nico a chance. And I'll tell you this, he expected to win. Okay, he changed coaches a lot in the off season. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but he wanted to win. Did I get frustrated with him? Yes, I did. But, we all want to win, and that's really what it boils down to. Are we happy being 8-4? Hopefully 8-4. Never want to take anything for granted. The answer is no. And real quickly, one more thing, and I'll let you go. Think about it. 2024 is probably going to be the last time, and I'll use the word probably because Saban let this out. Even with Texas and Oklahoma coming in, it looks like we're only going to play 8 conference games after that. So we're not going to play Alabama every year. We're not going to play Georgia every year or Florida. Vanderbilt will be our permanent opponent. So the point is the baseline is still at worst 9-3. Okay. And we're not going to be playing 9 conference games. We play Alabama every year. So Nico in 2025 for sure. I mean, we know us old guys, we know he can spin it just like y'all do. So you know what? Let's play him. 2025, I really think we've got a very legitimate shot in an 8 conference game schedule to compete for win the SEC and a national title.
I got to ask you another question because I love when you talk old stories. First of all, Jesse's got a dog that loves him because that's the sound that I wake up to every morning is my stupid dogs and their toenails. That's what Jesse's dealing with right now. I know it is. Show us the dog, Jesse. Show us the dog.
Waylon, come here. Come here, boy.
This is what you get on fan call-in shows.
Yep.
Get up here, buddy. He's a basset hound, so he's.
Oh,
look at that's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
That's Veterans Day caller. I like it.
It's like anybody that has dogs, that's the sound you wake up to is their freaking toenails on the hardwood floor. I got to ask you a question, BS, because you brought up Johnny Majors, and I don't know if the audience is here for it, but I love when you go on tangents telling stories because I love Tennessee history. I love hearing about the old times that I didn't get to witness. Johnny Majors, Philip Fulmer. Did Fulmer stab him in the back? Were you here when I was talking about Kevin Steele and the snake in the grass and the weasel? Yeah, tell us about that.
You want my opinion or what?
I
will put it this way. I would say yes, that did happen, and the fan base was split for many, many years over that. The fan base is united. I will give Coach Heupel that. We're very united now, but for a long time, you had your Fulmer cap and your Majors camp. And real quick, I'll tell you who Nico really reminds me of. I know you said Boogie, you think, or maybe I don't want to misspoke or misspeak. I know Heath Schuler's been brought up. I'll tell you who I think he reminds me of in some ways with the deep ball. Tony Robinson.
That's a
in my
little
opinion.
before my time.
And I'm going to tell you why. I went to the first spring game for Butch Jones, and a buddy of mine, we were up there, and I go, man, this is before we really knew about Dobbs. I go, T Rob was there, and they had an old timers game. I went, holy crap, he can still throw it like about 50, 60 yards on a rope. We need to start him if he has any eligibility because he could still throw it, and he was 50 something years old. That is the kind of ability, just from what little I've seen. And I know Joe would be able to do that too, but I'm talking about spinning it with some accuracy. That the long ball, Tony Robinson could. I can see them right now in my mind. I'm going back nearly 40 years, and I'm seeing it. And that is what I think Nico would be able to give us, the ability to. We should have on that interception against Cook yesterday when we had it around midfield or something. We should have took a deep shot right off the bat. That's another thing that Coach Majors would have done. He liked to take deep. We talked about, us old guys were talking at the gym. We were talking about it like, okay, what would we do? I said, I would push the ball down the field more and take more deep shots. I don't understand why we're not. But yes, I do think that Coach Majors was stabbed in the back. But look, when they honored him, one of my best friends said when they honored Coach Majors that 1 year Kiffin was there, and I got up to applaud. He said, that's the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen you do. So, because I booed him unmercifully. I was so upset sometimes, and I can't stand Alabama or Florida or Georgia. I don't like Auburn. I don't like Georgia Tech. We played Georgia.
God,
we
thank
played
you
Georgia
so much.
Tech.
I hate all those people too.
Don't like Georgia Tech, man. That's going back.
Yeah, well, we played them every year when I was growing up as a kid. I've been a fan since 1972 and Condra Holloway. I remember when he came out at halftime on ABC with Keith Jackson. I was 7 years old in 1974, and we came back and tied UCLA. And that was doing something because they were really good back then. So anyway, I don't want to waste everybody's time. Just wanted to say that even if I wasn't on Talkin VAWLS, I would want to play Nico. I'm being honest. Okay. That's just how I feel. I know a lot of people may disagree. It's nothing against Joe Milton. If we play Joe, I'm a Tennessee fan. I just want the best players out there at every position so we can compete and win football games. And that's just all it boils down to.
I love it, man. I love every time
God
you come
bless
on the
everybody.
channel.
And go Bradley Central. You got Boo Carter and
Why didn't you
Marcus
come see
Corey
me?
coming.
I was just down there the Friday before homecoming, man. You should have come and found me. Got to hang out with a couple of guys down there. It was cool. Were you at if you were at that game, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, I wasn't, but I'm thinking about I was not, sir. I would not have wanted to waste too much of your time. But I hope you enjoyed your time there. That's a wonderful field. That's $1 million field. I know who donated that. I'm pretty sure. And the point is that we've got some talent coming in general. And I tell you what, I think they should have Boo out there on offense with Nico. I mean, that kid, we'll just be lighting people up like an old pinball machine. And I can show the youngsters what that was or something. But anyway, we'd be lighting them up, baby. So anyway, go Vols, go Bradley. And I'll always be a Vols fan. That's never going to change. So I appreciate seeing all you young Tennessee fans, and I think that's a great thing. So God bless y'all, and take care, everybody.
Later, buddy. Appreciate you
all
coming
on. Okay.
Oh my gosh, one of my favorite people in the community. I hope he doesn't bore you all. I love listening. I could listen to him talk. Like you guys get on here and listen to me talk, and I'm an idiot. I love listening to him tell stories. I don't know. Maybe he bores y'all to death.
Oh, it's so interesting.
I love it. I'm here for those old stories, man. I'm here for it.
I want to go to the Y now just so I can hang out with him.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to criticize. I'm like, so you're one of the old men when I'm waiting to get a machine and you're just sitting on it talking? Like, just go to McDonald's. Go to McDonald's and eat your breakfast and talk. Like, let me get in here and get my workout and get out. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. That's right. Go Vols for 5 says, on the right fumble, I feel like he was open way long before he was thrown to. Could have caught sooner and gave up yards. That's right. Go Vols. Coach Jay has created a cult. Y'all are blaming Joe for fumbles. Y'all are blaming Joe for the defense. Y'all blaming Joe for the inflation. Like, y'all are blaming Joe for the increase in gas prices. A different Joe. Yes, yes. A different.
You could say Coach Jay's forming a cult over there.
Yeah,
that
he
is.
He's going to split off from me eventually and start his own channel, and it's going to be ugly. Timothy McGee for 5. No, our coaches would keep him there like they do the quarterback. Why do I hit Timothy's super chats way after the fact, and I never know what he's talking about? I love you though, Timothy. Appreciate that. Let's see. Any final thoughts? We're about to wrap this thing up. Anybody got anything they want to get? Let's just go around the room, other than me and Coach Jay, because we're on here every day. Rocky Top Tom, any final thoughts on the way out the door?
I want Al Wilson and Eric Berry. I want Leonard Little, and I hated him, but I want Albert Haynesworth back on the field. Those are the 4 guys. I want them on the field. I know they're all defense, but I just want them on the field, period. And I think I might be okay with that.
You know, I was at the game when Albert Haynesworth stepped on the dude's face. I was at that game. So you basically want to play Madden football back in the late 90s when you had the all Madden teams and you could create studs. All right, I got you. Sports Banner, any final thoughts on the way out the door, buddy?
No, just hopefully they show up next week, and we're going to be in Neyland, so we haven't lost in Neyland in a while. I know Georgia's really good, but anything can happen on a Saturday. We know they're going to start Joe. I don't know if he keeps him in there or whatever, regardless how the game's going. But, hopefully, regardless how next week turns out, we show up for Vandy like we're supposed to, and we take care of business, and then see what kind of bowl game we get, and then get ready for the spring. I'm with Coach Jay. I don't want to get our important guys hurt. I want them there for the spring. I want those guys to be dialed in going into the next season, and go Vols.
Did you kidnap Jesse's dog?
I got like 4 of them running around here.
Was that a beagle? Was that a beagle?
That is an American foxhound that you saw.
I look like a beagle. Look like a beagle back there. Why do I hate you, Evan?
She is a beagle. She looks just like a beagle.
Okay, yeah, I thought it looked like a beagle. My mom had a beagle, and that looked exactly like her dog.
She's a hound dog.
Why do I hate you, Evan? Why are people in the chat saying I hate him? What did I do to what? Why does Evan think I hate him? The only person I hate here tonight is Coach Jay. I don't understand.
Hate me.
No, I hate everybody. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate everybody. Hey, can we touch back on something that Osborne was just talking about? Can we get some decent non-con schedules like Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech? Can we stop scheduling these UTSA, Austin P, Virginia? I mean, at least Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, those are ACC teams. But I mean,
they do it for those schools. They do it to help those schools. It's not so much for the Vols. It's a lot of those schools wouldn't be able to continue their programs if they didn't get those big paydays from the bigger colleges.
Are we playing NC State next year?
I think so.
Is that correct?
So.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. We played them a few years ago, and that was a hell of a football game, and it shouldn't have been.
They'll be decent next year.
I have a story
not
about
great,
that game.
but decent.
But I'll tell it off air. I can't tell it on air. That's off-air story. Seth,
late night Talkin VAWLS.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all get me getting crazy on Tuesday. Maybe I'll tell it. Seth, final thoughts? Anything you want to talk about on the way out the door?
Missouri game, we played like hot garbage. Yeah, we played hot garbage. We got to recover. We got to just watch good film. And, hey, I know we're playing Georgia, but let's start getting these younger guys in. Let's start prepping for next year. Let's just start going for it.
That's where I'm at. Nate, final thoughts on the week?
Disappointing loss.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, told my girlfriend, I was like, hey, just come in here and watch the Tennessee game. Big game, huge game. Like, you'll give me some good luck and maybe we'll win. He comes down there and we lose by like 29. I said, yeah, I'm kicking you out of my house.
I was going to say, I hope you broke up with her. I hope you're looking for a new woman.
Yeah. He's like, so I miss her.
she's been gone for 24 hours.
And also, I live in Virginia, so it would be awesome. I remember I live really close to Virginia Tech, probably like an hour, 2 hours away from Christiansburg. So there's this guy who went to my high school, and he knows I'm a big Tennessee fan. So whenever we lost to South Carolina last year, he was because he hates Tennessee. So he was texting me. He was like, "Oh, you choked again." I'm like, "Dude, you guys went 4 and like 8." Like, bro, what? But anyway, also, I wanted to touch on this blue chip breakdown. Actually, after the post game show was off, I went over to check out blue chip breakdown, and someone in the chat said that Danico Slaughter was lost. That they were running a cover 3, and he was going up like they were playing cover 2, and that is why Strader caught that long wheel route on the second. Like it was the second time that he caught that long wheel route, and he was coming up, but then he was coming back, and he's a veteran. You can't. I don't know. I don't know. Willie Martinez is just not doing a good job.
There was a lot of talk on the Heupel show about guys not being in the right spot when they were in zone. Heupel talked, and he also the thing that Coach Jay talked about with the cutbacks, that was 100% brought up. I don't know. Do you watch the Heupel show? Is that how you formulate all your opinions, Coach Jay? You just watch? I know better.
No, seriously though, what?
No, he was saying we're getting
beat
beat because
show. I'm not being like an ass. I really don't know.
It's on like NBC, really, I think, right? NBC.
Is it?
Yeah,
is it on YouTube also? Or,
it's on. I think it's on utsports.com. You can probably watch it there. I guarantee you
they're
not.
It, but no,
they're not showing it in California.
I wouldn't steal them from
I guarantee you. But the exact thing you said about they're basically they're baiting you in to bring you down and then block you off, seal you off for the cutback. Right.
Yes.
And he specifically mentioned that. He's like, they ate us alive with that. Like,
yes.
So it's I laugh because I know you don't watch I was 99% sure.
No, I know.
You don't get the Heupel show, but you say a lot of things that it's why I went to bat for you last night when people were talking about, it was Dauber saying guys are wide open and this and that and the other. It's like, well, I know Coach Jay tells you this every week because he watches the game 5 times a week. Like he watches every game 5 times. Appreciate that. Appreciate the work that goes in. Honesty, final thoughts.
Yeah, Boogie, I've got something on my mind. This is something I've actually been dying to tell you since the last time I was on this show. I'm in my 20s, right? So I haven't seen a lot of good UT football. Last year was pretty much the first time. And I thought the other day, I was like, what is my earliest UT football memory? And I think this is just going to hurt your soul.
Oh my gosh.
My earliest memory of UT football, I was at my grandmother's house. It was under Derek Dooley, LSU game. Game was on the line. Our defense made a stop.
No.
There was a flag
it
on the field.
It hurts.
Play went back, and we lost the game. That is my earliest UT memory. I don't remember a UT football team that doesn't shoot themselves in the foot. Every single year, we've shot ourselves in the foot my entire life. And all I want, I thought I had it last year, and then South Carolina. And I'm like, dude, I just want a team that doesn't shoot themselves in the foot. If we go out there and we play a good game and we lose, kudos to the other team. But quite frankly, Missouri played fine, but I'm not going to give them kudos for showing up. They don't get kudos for that game. We didn't show up.
Yep.
Can you come help me coach, man? Seriously.
No, my question is, how old his grandma's probably like my age. It's like, that's what I
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh my gosh. But let me look. It's so painful to hear. Like that game.
That's my earliest UT memory.
Julie had the most horrible, like that game, the bowl game against North Carolina. Me and Snake were at that game. We were at that game. Snake is trying to fist fight people in the parking lot on the way out. It's like, and that's why, it's funny. It's just the different perspective. That's why I love BS Osborne. I love the different perspectives. The young guys, the guys, and I think that's why me, Coach Jay, JP, like, Dauber, we all relate because we're all the same age. So we kind of have the similar story, right? So when we say things or we react certain ways, it's because of what we've been through. But then I hear somebody like you or the X Factor come on, and you younger guys, and it's like, well, we should celebrate 8-4. It's like, no, we shouldn't. Like,
no, I'm not celebrating 8-4.
But we're the most spoiled generation of Tennessee fans ever. And me and Coach broke it down on Friday morning. Like back when Fulmer was the coach, we dominated, man. Like, you expected to win 10 games because that's the way that was Tennessee football. And we've got to get back to that. I think Heupel is the guy to get us back to that. I think this was a little bump in the road. I feel like this, man, listening to all the conversation tonight, it's like this year, I felt like we were just trying to survive and get to 2024. I felt like we were trying to survive and just do okay until Nico takes over. That's if I was going to summarize the 2023 season, it is survive mediocre quarterback play and get to 2024 without losing the fan base. That's the way it felt to me.
And the play has reflected it.
Yeah. The play calling.
Yeah.
The play calling.
It's nice for a bad season, though, to be an 8-4 year, and not what our bad seasons used to look like, I mean, I'm sure any Texas A&M fan, Florida Gator fan would gladly switch places with our record right now in a second. So
they would. They'd also take the amount of talent that we've got on this team too, and they'd be like, you know what? They could be. I mean, he shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's a bunch of crap, but seriously, we could have at the very worst one loss if we played up to potential. Really.
Well,
this is the only game where we really just got whipped.
We
yeah.
Across the board, period. They looked absolutely like garbage. Seth and Nader said it a few minutes ago. Garbage. Yeah.
It's just we have the talent. That's what's so frustrating. I mean, Jalen Wright last year, he was great, but especially for the first half of the year, he was a fumble machine. I mean, he fumbled like twice a game, and he cleaned it up. And we went into this year. I don't think he fumbled once until last night. Last night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did. Maybe I missed it. But he's been clean all year. And then he fumbles twice and drops a pass. And I'm like, man, what's going on?
And you wonder if it's mental, right? Yeah. One little mistake and you wonder if it's mental.
It's got
And you look at that option play too, that speed option fumble where one of our tackles recovered the fumble. But you got to look at that. I mean, this is just a microcosm of how exemplary mediocre Joe Milton is. He's 50-50, hit or miss. You don't pitch that ball when you're 4 yards away from the sideline and leave your running back out to dry on a speed option pitch. You just don't do that. Like, if you go back and you watch, I know this is probably going to be stuff that you guys really don't care about, but some of you history lovers, Boogie, you probably will love this. Coach Jay, you might like this because I know you talked about some old football stuff before, but you watch some film of the Oklahoma Sooners from the mid-50s when they had that hellacious streak. You watch Jimmy Harris run the blind option pitch, and if he gets 5 yards from the sideline, he's tucking it upfield and he's running. And they didn't even run it that far out, but if he gets that far out, he's not pitching it because that's just not something that you do. You're going to leave your guy out to dry.
Devil's advocate, why are you running it to the short side of the field?
Short side.
Run it to the
option doesn't make any sense.
Why are you calling that?
Yeah.
Jalen Wright was so uncomfortable on that play, and it's on him. Joe pitched the football, right, wrong, indifferent. You still got.
He wasn't even ready for the ball.
You got to take the pitch and take the hit.
Yeah, and usually when you run that to the short side of the field, it's because you're looking for the quarterback cut back lane. Backside. That's what you're looking to be open on that play. That's usually why you call it, is if you see that can be there. That's the reason that they do run it to the short side. The play that bothered me, and we talked about it last night, and it's happened more than once now. We ran a play action or run play option RPO, a play action pass that Joe Milton did not fake the handoff on. He decided to pull his arm back and try to throw it, and the ball came out because it was a fumble. It's high school stuff, man. It's junior high school stuff right there.
You want me to have some fun with you, Coach?
Yeah, have some fun with me.
I told you about the A to Z post game show. I was listening to it before we went
Oh
live.
yeah,
Crompton.
We're gonna have it out, me and Crompton.
He blamed that on play calling. He said because if you're throwing to that side of the field, that you're immediately throwing. You're not. Why is Jalen Wright doing this? Anybody want to tell me why he's doing this? Anybody want to know why Jalen Wright, or whoever the running back was, why his hands are like this?
It's a fake handoff.
Because he's
it's a
playing
fake
next
handoff.
to Peyton Manning. Yeah.
It's a play fake. You put the ball in his belly, then
Yep.
you pull it, then you throw it. But Crompton said because it was going to that side of the field, he blamed it on play calling. It's happened twice. It's happened twice. I have a hard time blaming it on play calling.
It's important that you fake that handoff so that you can freeze the secondary, freeze the linebackers. It also allows you to fake the handoff and get behind the running back so that you have an additional blocker. It serves two purposes. Yeah, Crompton is an all-star quarterback.
What's the point of calling a play action if you don't go play action? What's the point?
There's no point. There's no point. There's no defending that. I think Crompton is just kind of riding it till the wheels fall off a little bit with Joe Milton, and sometimes it's hard to admit that we were wrong about something. But
that's what people say to me too.
It is.
That's what they keep saying to me, brother.
Yep. But
am I riding it till the wheels fall off? Am I riding it till the wheels fall off?
No, I think you take Nico now. So let me ask you guys this: can you see a situation where Joe gets benched on Saturday? And if so, what is that situation?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, give me.
I wish I could, but
so this past Saturday, or yesterday. Geez, what am I saying? Yesterday, we went 3 and out, and their offense got the ball back after having a pretty decent drive. They just didn't put it in the end zone, right? That's a little bit of context on something that can go poorly for a Josh Heupel style offense. And from that moment where, we went 3 and out, we give it right back to them, they score on the next drive. That is a bad thing, right? That's just a bad setup. What Joe could do is make all of the mistakes that he has made this year as a sixth-year senior in the first half. He really could do it. He's had games where he's done 50-50. He's done mediocre, and our offensive line and run game has bailed him out. And then he's had first halves where, wow, I can't believe that's actually Joe Milton on the field. He looks like either, Hendon Hooker or somebody else that it's just not Joe. He could make a series of mistakes that could be catastrophic, and it could lead to his going on the bench by halftime and coach just saying, as I'm saying it, I don't even believe it myself. Coach Heupel's not going to put Nico on the field.
Tom is me. Tom, you or me. You're in the middle of a sentence and change your mind.
As I'm saying it, I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense. After all of this, the Austin P game was a moniker. The UVA game was kind of a moniker. The UTSA game was a moniker, and he didn't put him in. He's not going to do it, actually. I would if I was
I love it.
Yeah.
We could be losing 50-0. He ain't going to
So
put
he
Nico
goes
on
out
there.
there. So he goes out there, throws a pick six to the flats. Goes out there, holds the ball too long in the pocket, fumble, scoop, score. He goes out there and throws a interception again to the middle of the field. You trot him out there?
No, they're never going to get to that point because they'll start running.
Absolutely.
They will start running the football.
Not you, but yeah.
They'll run it. They'll run it 3 times and punt before they do that.
Probably would because, and you look back, who was talking about knowing misery? Honest, was it you? Yeah. You're 20. You were like, I'm in my 20s and my first experience of Tennessee football. Welcome to the club, champ. I'm serious. We do actually have jackets made. It says "Misery loves UT." I mean, it's just
whoa! That's a T-shirt. I'm making a note.
Yeah. But no, seriously, Coach, and it's to a fault. Love Coach to death. He brought us out of the pit of despair, but he's got loyalty to a fault, and it's just his way of doing stuff. If he does that to somebody that's really good and they're worthy of his respect and his loyalty, that's perfect. That's the 100% situation. But at a certain point, man, you got to cut the cord.
I'm not kidding when I say put in Gaston Moore.
Yeah, I agree.
He's been
You know
there
what the
for
other
3
thing-
years. Put him in. He's got to know the system. I mean, well, you say the same thing about Milton, but
Milton admitted his mistake on that play action fake, though. I did read that, like in his comments, he said that was 100% on him. He needs to, make that fake. So,
So now,
when my 5-year-old makes a mistake, he admits to it too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So now, not only is he making the mistake and he's realizing he made the mistake, he's admitting to it instead of just internalizing it, compartmentalize it, put it aside, and move on. And he's kind of getting into that spot where you remember at the beginning of the season, he'd mess up, he'd throw an interception. Well, he didn't throw a pick for a while, but he fumbled or he had a really bad play where, I mean, obviously you didn't know where the chains were. You didn't know where your receiver was on an option route. And he would just walk over to the sideline kind of smiling like, yeah, I'm having a good time. It's positive, Joe. We're going to get him next time. But there's a difference between that and you're just not getting it, man. You're just not getting it.
Man, I was going to ask final comments from our boy down there with the hound dog, and y'all wouldn't shut up, and he's like, F this. I'm going to bed. He's like, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. He's like, I'm out. We're 2 hours into this thing. I'm out. I'm done. We are going to wrap the show. I appreciate you guys hanging. This has been a fun, man, therapy. Like, we're all laughing. Yep. We're all making jokes. None of us are happy.
That's the whiskey.
Like,
That's the whiskey.
Yeah, well, I'm drinking a little Jim Beam, so
I
drink whatever you got to drink.
I threw a fit after the game.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't break your TV, so we all have positive things to take out of this thing, right?
Yeah.
But we gotta wrap the show. We're gonna be live tomorrow
Yeah.
morning. Myself, Eric Kane, 9 a.m. I'm gonna watch the Josh Heupel post-game press conference. Come hang out. Come voice your frustrations. Tuesday night, NCAA night. It's gonna be a party. We're gonna drown our sorrows.
Tell Kaner I found a straw.
You found. Oh. You better be in the chat Monday morning, because I don't think you're gonna like what he has to say. Look at the look. Oh, he froze. He was so frozen with the best smile ever, and now it came clean. JD Bedford for 5 says, "Why does Heupel not get into player officials' butts for errors? Saban, Lincoln Riley, Smart, Brian Kelly, and more all do." I think Coach Heupel has a different approach. I think he has a more love-based relationship than it is hate. I'm glad that super chat came through because I want to give a shout out to John David Bedford for becoming a member, and also Feed the Faith Outdoors for becoming a member of the channel. If you guys like the content, hit the join button. Give $1 a month. That's my goal. You want me to stop saying smash the thumbs up and doing the sales pitch and blah 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 blah? You just want content. You just want videos. Join the channel. When we hit the number, we'll stop doing that. But man, it's been a fun show. This has been a fun show. We're going to continue to talk Tennessee football all throughout the week. All you diehards, be here for it. We'll talk Tennessee, Georgia, I guess. I'm telling you, tomorrow is going to be all Tennessee, Missouri. That's what it's going to be.
Milton, please.
That's what it's going to be. I'm going to put Kaner on the spot. I'm going to ask him what he would do with the quarterback situation. But let's get out the door, man. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the memberships. Shout out to Coach Jay, Rocky Top Tom, Honest E. It was good having you. Was this your first fan call in?
My second.
Second. All right, man. It was good having you on the show. Seth Nader, I'm glad you didn't freeze up. I'm glad you didn't bow down to the pressure. Why can you not bring this energy to a post-game show? Seth, just be yourself on a Saturday, the same Seth we get on a Sunday. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do.
Hell if I know.
There you go.
We'll figure it out because
We'll figure it out.
You bring the energy on Sunday. We got to get you to bring the energy on Saturday. Nate, you're the man. Appreciate you coming on, man. I love this community. I love this channel. I love what we do here, man. I love being the voice of the voiceless. Yes, this is my channel, but it means nothing without you guys. We're out the door. Smash the thumbs up. Tell somebody about Talkin VAWLS. We're going to be here every week, no matter what the record is, no matter how miserable we are. But this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Seth, go ahead and say it.
Go Big Orange.
The